Mercury Contamination at Grand Street in Hoboken, New Jersey. Presented by Emily Nugent, Spring 2025 class of Global Environmental Health. Objectives: understand the cause of the Grand Street mercury contamination, and understand the consequences caused by the products created with mercury. Understand the lasting effects of the contamination of the site and the cleanup that occurred. Table of contents: the purpose, the background, timeline of events, information about the contamination site, featuring figures 1 and 2, risk of exposure and health effects caused by the contaminated site, featuring figures 3 and 4, summary and citations. This image features a mercury light bulb that were involved in the creation of mercury lamps that occurred at this site. The site is located at 720 and 722 and 732 Grand Street in Hoboken, New Jersey. The contaminated site includes 2 buildings and an asphalt-covered parking area originally. The site was previously an industrial space that was converted into apartments. A townhouse on the property was also turned into a residential property. The site was formerly an industrial building with vacuum pumps and manufactured vapor lamps and connector switches that were created from 1910 to 1965. The site was owned by General Electric. Timeline of events. From 1910 to 1965, mercury lamps were created at this site. In 1993 to 1996, the site was made into residential apartments. In January 1995, reports of liquid mercury on the premises was reported. In January of 1996, residents vacate after elevated mercury levels that were found through series of testing by the EPA and the New Jersey Department of Health. In September 1997, the site is placed on the Superfund National Priorities List. In September 1997, demolition is started on the site and the contaminated soil is disposed of off-site. In April of 2003, the EPA determines and requests that all soil in the neighboring properties to be disposed of due to mercury contamination. In December 2004, the remediation process was completed, and in August 2007, the site was taken off the national priorities list. At the contamination site, visible liquid mercury was reported in the building in 1995. The Hoboken Board of Health conducted testing on the residents. Urinalysis was used on the residents. Levels exceeding 30 Ug per liter are considered extremely hazardous to human beings. As you can see in the bar graph beside, the urine mercury levels of the residents far exceeded the level that was discussed, causing extreme health effects to these individuals. The intervention by the EPA and the New Jersey Department of Health. In 1995, after reports of liquid mercury being found in the buildings, the EPA and the New Jersey Department of Health measured air vapor levels. A healthy limit is under 0.31 Ug per m, as indicated at 0.0 and observation 0. At the time of observation 1 in March of 1995, the measurement was found to be 5 Ug per meter squared. A remediation effort occurred in the interim, and observation 2 indicated that the level had gone up in October of 1995, which that level was 7 at the time. The third observation occurred and shown that the level had increased to 26, which was far exceeding the healthy limit that was determined. An increase in vapor concentration, despite remediation efforts, determined that the buildings would have to be demolished and soil would need to be assessed. There are many health effects to prolonged mercury exposure. The table shows the urine mercury levels and the associated health outcomes. As you can see, some examples include vision problems, muscle weakness, and loss of coordination when exposed to methyl mercury. When exposed to elemental mercury, like many residents on Grand Street, symptoms can include mood changes, tremors, and prolonged neurological issues. In a study conducted with residents and the observed mercury levels over 20 Measured health effects become present in individuals with the urine mercury level above 20. 29 residents at Grand Street were tested, including children and the elderly. All residents tested had urine levels above 20. 8 residents had urine mercury levels above 56, as shown in this pie chart. Liquid mercury was found between the flooring, and mercury vapors were detected at the site. Mercury was found in the building materials such as wood, brick, and tar. The study conducted at the site showed levels of mercury that exceeded health standards, and the building could not be remediated despite efforts. The building was demolished, and the groundwater and soil was disposed of off-site. The site was placed on the Superfund National Priorities List in September 1997. All individuals' urine mercury levels were above the standard of health, and all were relocated. The site was taken off the National Priorities List in August 2007, and prior to being taken off the list, remediation efforts were started in the neighboring properties that were believed to also be contaminated in the soil and the groundwater. The site is now home to a newly built residential building, as featured in this image. And here are my citations. Thank you.